Now, Siam, Sk'aliCh'elh Siam. So he lives in that natural Tokitae Siam and Sk'aliCh'elh. So hey, welcome to our Tokitae TV, our Sk'aliCh'elh talk. We're here. We're going to go worldwide with our friends in Miami, to the Pacific Ocean, to the North Sailor Sea. We want to do this in a good way. Just going to quickly and patiently ask that your comments come in from around the world, and please share this with your networks as we pray for the return of Sk'aliCh'elh Tokitae, stage name Lolita, at the Miami Sea Prison at the abusement park in South Florida. And with that, we're going to ask Uncle Sidki at this time, raise our hands to you, starting us off in a good way. ACM.
Okay, can you hear me?
ACM.
I want to ask the Creator to bless the opening of this gathering here today, that each and every one of you that has the heart out there for our beloved orcas, that He continues to open this door for her to come home. And for those that have been held in captivity for so many years, we're just asking that bless each and every one of the organizations, and that all things are going to come full circle, and that the blessings will be bestowed upon all those that are lifting them up in prayer. We can't thank you enough for the organizations that have reached out to the world and said, let's Uitschwallowen come together with one heart and one mind. Saying Haishka to all of you. The hands are out. Osiam, Haishka. So the prayer that we're going to offer up, it's a prayer song, that we're just going to quickly share with you. And it comes from our 1910 Shaker Faith. Oh, 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 we praise you, Lord. We praise you, Lord. Oh, Lord Jesus, we praise you. Oh, 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 Mercy. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to come before you again today, just asking for your blessings upon each and every one. Amen. Awesome. Haishka.
ACM, Uncle. ACM. Just raising our hand, Sayat, from around the world. Thank you. Thank you for opening us up in a beautiful way. Today's Sunday, February 27th, 2022. Welcome to our friends around the world. We're live with the Orca Network. We have with our panel in Miami, Alejandro Dinto, Mr. Howard Garrett on Whidbey Island, Mr. Lawrence Curtis. He's out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean doing some dives. We got Sk'aliCh'elh, Raynell Morris. Good to see you, my friend and elder of the Clackamas territory. Deb Cruz is our technical assistance with our Unitarian Fellowship friends of Bellingham. Thanks for being here, Deb. And the co-host is Annette Martinez in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you, Annette, for coordinating our event. We ask everyone to please share your comments, share where you're calling from, share your prayers. We're going to continue our good work with Tokitae. Sk'aliCh'elh is our Indian name that Uncle Sid Kikadam and I and Sk'aliCh'elh, Chairman Lawrence Solomon came down, and we the Black Hawk Singers blessed her with the Sk'aliCh'elh. Sk'aliCh'elh. And the name comes from the ancient village that was there for the last 10,000 years. It's called Pen Cove, and it was called Sk'aliCh'elh. Sk'aliCh'elh. And so just a little explanation. Thank you again to each and every one of you. Annette, good to see you, my friend, again.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank everyone for joining. There's been a lot of shares happening of this video already and prior to. So thank you so much for joining us, for sharing this video with others and your groups. We really, really, really do appreciate it. I don't want to go on and on too much for the welcome because I'd like to get over to Lawrence Curtis because we don't know what his service will hold or how long it will hold. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Lawrence. What are you up to? Share with us what's going on.
Well, hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see. Am I muted? Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear it? See?
Oh, yes.
Okay, perfecto. Doug, thank you so much for that beautiful prayer. It resonates throughout the world. It resonates out to the ocean. I'm currently out in kind of the middle of the Pacific off of Baja, Mexico, to Socorro Islands. And this is a place that is the open ocean. This is where orcas, humpback whales, manta rays, sharks of all species thrive. And I thought it was appropriate. I'm actually here doing a film project, mostly on shark science, but we heard the call of humpback whales on our dive yesterday. And there are another subspecies of orca that are in the Sea of Cortez and in this Baja area of the South Pacific. They are cousins of Tokitae. Maybe there will be a blessing that I can be able to commune with them and hear their story. And if willing, then maybe I can bring back some footage and imagery of what it looks like in contrast to the condition that Tokitae is in. I think it's important that a lot of people understand that, I mean, this is the home waters of so much beautiful life. And these are the waters that are in stark contrast to that tank that Tokitae is in. This is vastness. This is Mother Earth and Mother Ocean. This is an aquatic planet, and I'm super blessed to be able to do this and be here. I really just am very honored to be a part of all of this. I think all of those of my friends that are on the panel and everyone that has joined today. We do have kind of a not so good Wi-Fi connection, but at least there's some kind of connection. It's interesting because here I'm using technology to talk to others around the world and talk to people that are, you know, right next to me. Dolphins and whales do that biologically. And Tokitae still calls out to her family. I'm using technology and satellite link-ups. Orca do it in different forms, but they still do it. I'm very grateful for today, and we're about to go on another dive here in a few minutes, so I'll pass it on to whoever's next. And thank you guys so much.
Good to see you, my friend. Geez,
good to see you too.
I know you're getting, yeah, I know you're getting ready for a dive. Really looking forward to seeing some of your good work. I know a lot of people love following you. For those that don't follow, Lauren, she's a underwater cinematographer, and has been a dear friend to Team Tokitae ever since we've been trying to get her back home. And so I know you got to run, friend. Good to see you. Siam, Sk'aliCh'elh, love and blessings to you. And may you guys find everything safe on your journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Annette?
Yeah, so Alejandro, our faithful advocate on the ground, was at the Seaquarium today. And play a little video, and then we're going to let him just give you an update on how that went today. So here we go.
Hello, everybody. I'm here today protesting Lolita, Tokitae Sk'aliCh'elh. I'm wearing my walking billboard, as usual, to bring awareness. Here in the back is the Lolita Stadium, where she was kept in captivity for 52 years. You got it there in my bag. It's time to do the right thing and let her go back home. Her time has came. We love you, Lolita, Tokitae Sk'aliCh'elh. Please keep donating, keep sending energy, positive energy to Lolita, because I feel her time has came. This year, she must go back home. Her mother, ocean sun, is waiting for her. Free Lolita, Tokitae Sk'aliCh'elh.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. How did it go today? You want to give us an update on how it's going over there?
I was there today. Even I took pictures of the parking lot, and it's almost empty. The only way this cruel business can keep people coming, you know, just supporting them, is just giving free tickets away, giving free passes for the whole year. Today was about 1 o'clock. I remember 2-3 years ago, by 1 o'clock, the parking was full of cars. So just, I want to encourage everyone to keep supporting Tokitae Sk'aliCh'elh, because she must go back home. I ask everyone, I urge everyone, please encourage everyone to keep donating, to keep supporting, to keep praying for her, for her to be like a feel strength. She needs strength, you know, just to go back home. So keep supporting the lamination. They are doing a huge effort for taking her back home. So I feel so honored to be part of this group. Thank you to Lamination, thank you to Orca Network, to Lawrence, to everybody who get involved to bring this angel back home. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. Thank you for being there. He sent a few other pictures from today that I'll share a little bit later, because it kind of goes with what I'm going to talk about just a little bit later. But thank you so much for everything you do, just every day, sharing. Really, really appreciate it. I want to attempt to show a video before we go to Howard Garrett. So you have to bear with me for 1 second to see if I'm able to do this. So 1 second. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Commissioner Raquel Regalado, and I want to thank you all for the emails and calls about Toki the whale. As many of you know, we've been dealing with this at the Board of County Commissioners for some time. Specifically in June is when we first received information about the violations from USDA. Today, USDA was actually out at the Seaquarium, and we're here to provide you with an update. So first and foremost, everyone needs to understand that what we approved at the County Commission was the transfer of ownership of the Seaquarium from the current owner to the new owner. That transfer has not been effectuated yet, and the violations are actually for the old owner. And that's why we're waiting for this final USDA report so that we can finalize compliance. The lease was decades old, and one of the things that I brought to the County Commission was amendments to that lease so that it would comply with current federal and state regulations, which it did not. And that's why we're having this conversation about USDA compliance. Last weekend, I actually requested another change. I want to amend the lease again once the new owner has control of the Seaquarium so that we can bring in a third-party vet. I would like to do that sooner rather than later, and I hope that the current owners will agree to it. And I've requested the mayor to have her assistance with this. We really want to know how Toki's health is doing. I know a lot of you are concerned about her retirement, about her going to another space. And one of the things that the USDA is looking at is at the size of her tank, which we know is wholly inadequate. But right now, we're really concerned about her health. And I would like a third party to come in and tell us exactly how she's doing. And then we'll deal with the other pieces of this. And whether we end up putting her seaside or she's retired somewhere else or they change her tank, we're going to deal with that. And there's a process which involves the federal government and the new owners once they take possession. But that hasn't happened yet. And right now, we're just concerned about her health. So we thank you for staying tuned. We'll keep you informed.
Thank you. I wanted to share that because I don't know who all has seen that. I think a lot of folks have, but I did want to share that with you guys today because it goes along with what Howard's going to be talking to us about. I'm not sure why that sound is coming on here. So I'm going to hand it over to Howard and see if I can turn off the loud noise that's happening in my background anyway. Howard?
Okay. Well, I like the soundtrack. First off, I want to just say how much I appreciate Alejandro. They're on the ground, on the street, in front of the Seaquarium for so many years. And with your billboard sign, your sound trucks, your prisoner's outfit, your ball and chain, you do theater that grabs attention and really makes people think about Toki. So I really appreciate your dedication over so many years. Thank you, Alejandro. And I do have a couple of comments, but first I do want to acknowledge this tapestry behind me. This is by Whidbey Island native artist Joe Starr, and it's a real work of art. It was gifted to Susan, my wife, in appreciation for organizing the Pen Cove Water Festival canoe races over the years. And it's just it's a beautiful adornment. And it's great that it happens to show up right behind me when I put my laptop in the right place. So I would like to talk just for a minute about this word geriatric. We hear it a lot. The Seaquarium repeats it a lot, just describing Toki, a geriatric whale. And it gets into the media and into a lot of other statements and into people's minds. And I just would like to kind of look at what does that mean? And when you look it up, it means an old person who is receiving special care. It's usually followed by the word patient, a geriatric patient. And that is really the impression that they are trying to create, that she is in dire need of special care every day just to continue living. But there's no facts. There's no basis for that. There's no information to tell us what it is they're talking about. And when they say things like, she wasn't feeling well, what does that mean? How do they know that? Now, I'm sure she can't tell them exactly how she's feeling, but, what are the indications? There's never any basis for saying any of those things. All we really have to go by to assess how she's doing until there is a complete, thorough, independent examination of her are the drone videos. Thank you, Lawrence, and others. So we can see with our own eyes how she's doing. And as far as I can tell, she doesn't look bad. I mean, she's just swimming around. She's not listing. She's not sinking. She's not stationary. She's swimming fairly slowly, but, that's just normal. To me, she just looks normal. She could still be sick and look normal from a drone. So you can't rule it out, but it doesn't give us any other indication that she is sick. So I just, until I hear some other, indication, I am just going to have to assume she's probably okay. She probably looks okay, but we do need a complete examination, because what matters really isn't her is she old, her age exactly, and how does that compare with the average? And we could argue till the cows come home about how old she is and is she past the average, because what really matters is her health, how she's doing, her parameters, her blood work, any indication that she has any kind of an illness. And to do that, I am just going to echo the call from Commissioner Regalado and from so many others that we need to have a thorough, independent examination. And we have a perfect model for how that can be done, and that was done for Caico. Annette, can you put up the USDA report for Caico? Is that possible? I can describe it if that's...
Yeah, it's not letting me do the document. So if you don't mind,
okay,
describe that one.
Well, this was done in 1998, just before Caico went to Iceland, and to make sure that he was healthy and would not carry any diseases or pathogens of any kind to Iceland. The USDA appointed a team of 6 veterinarians and pathologists, and they were from everywhere, from SeaWorld, from UC Davis, which is a very renowned veterinary school, from Baltimore Aquarium, from academics and industry professionals, and they examined Caico thoroughly for 48 pathogens, every one that any of them could think of, and they ran the tests and found that he was negative. And they concluded he is in good health, and that he was. And then, by the way, before he went to Iceland, Iceland sent 2 veterinarians to come out and do their own independent examination and got the same result. So Caico was found to be perfectly healthy. And this is after years of people saying, oh, no, he can't go to Iceland. He would infect the native population. And so that had to be checked out. I mean, it's a serious concern, but there is a way to check it out. And it was done with Caico. And you can look it up, 1998 USDA report. I don't know how it was organized or paid for, but at that time, Craig McCaw was funding everything. He had lots of money. And I think he basically asked the USDA to organize the whole thing, and he paid for it. I'm sure there were travel expenses and a lot of expenses. And I don't know, but I assume that he paid for all of it. What I want to give you a sense of is how strong orcas are. The sort of the orca natural history, the long evolutionary history, they're very robust, very resilient. They heal rapidly in general. And there's another photo. I'm not sure if you can show that, Annette. Yes, that is a transient mammal-eating orca, T137A, known as Jack. And in September 2019, he got that horrific gash on his tailstock there. Apparently a sea lion got him, which shows you it's dangerous and shows you they aren't called lions for nothing. So anyway, that lion apparently took a big gouge out of Jack's tail. But the other photo is the same whale about 6 or 8 months later. There's no sign of it. It's completely healed. And that is kind of legendary with orcas, that they get scratches, they get, horrible wounds, they get prop rakes sometimes, and they tend to heal. Sometimes if it's really bad, there could be a scar, but they just tend to heal up. Because orcas are a lot like us in a lot of ways, in their family ties, their loyalty to their family and their community, their clan, their culture. Only much more so than humans, actually. A strong tie. In fact, it's indelible. It's lifelong. They're born in their family. They never leave their families, no matter what. And it's just incredibly strong. And of course, they are so intelligent. You can see that in their behavior. And if you're very fortunate and happen to see one eye to eye, either from a boat or even in a captive situation, you can see, as someone once said, there's somebody home in there. They're looking at you. They're checking you out. They kind of can assess you too while you're looking at them. And that there is a deep, rich intelligence in there. And you can see that in Toki. You can see that in the way she moves, that she really has that kind of continual, constant, examination of what's going on, awareness, situational awareness of everything around her all the time. Because orcas really have a long, long evolutionary history. About 8 or 10 million years ago, they were among the very first of the dolphins. And even then, they were the biggest. And so they were the top predator of the ocean. Millions of years ago, 8 or 10 million years ago, orcas had no competition in the entire world's ocean. Nothing could take down an orca, and still today, nothing can take down an orca. That sea lion got a lucky bite, but I'm sure it didn't end well for the sea lion either. So they are the absolute apex top predator in the ocean. And so they've never had to run from a fight or go into a fight or flight, a danger, adrenaline rush kind of panic situation. In other words, they have no fear. No fear. They just don't have that in their composition, in their DNA. They don't have any fear of really anything. Everything they do, every move they make is premeditated, is sort of thought through and fully aware and awake. It's really remarkable to see that. But it just shows you how very strong they are, that they have evolved with this power over the ocean, over all the critters in the ocean, all these years. The only thing that they've had to worry about were other orcas, of course. And maybe it was to solve that problem that long ago they formed into communities, clans, interrelated communities of orcas that never left their home, their home is their family. I mean, they always travel, they're always on the move, but they never leave their families at all. And so they constantly remain loyal and strong and united and strong because they are physically strong, but also because they've always got backup. They've always got support. They've always got their families around to make sure they're okay.
Hey, Howard, real quick, There's a question. Would a diagnosis of pneumonia make it impossible for her to be moved?
Well, you know, I'm not a veterinarian, but pneumonia can be solved. I mean, it can be cured. And she's probably been having that. If it was true, as it was said about a couple of weeks ago, that she had pneumonia, probably there was, you know, a very strong antibiotic, you know, dosages to get it out of there, out of her system, because she doesn't, you know, seem to have it. And you know, the real issue here is that we don't have any facts. We don't have any idea. Did she really have pneumonia? How bad was it? What was the treatment? So I'm just going to finish up by echoing that call again, that we need her records for one thing. We need to go back into her veterinary records and see, you know, how has she been doing? How has she been treated? How has she been fed, to the extent there are records? And I worry about if there even are records, given that last USDA report. Basically, we need to have those records, and then a complete and thorough independent examination by a team of specialists to really know if she's healthy or not. That's basically where I want to end it. Were there any other questions? Let's see.
I think there's some questions that are of concern that we can go ahead and show here and ask you, Howard. Someone wants to know if can't it be fatal to move an animal that's been in captivity so long they don't know how to hunt? You want to address?
Yeah, okay. Well, that would be an assumption. If you think they forgot, if you think that they lost that ability. And, you know, one good indication was Caico. He was able to eat live fish, certainly catch them. He played with them sometimes. Sometimes he offered them back to his trainers. And they thought, well, he doesn't know what to do with it. He thinks it's like a dog catching a stick. But in a way, that's a ritual. That's a kind of a ceremony to offer that fish back to, you know, the trainers. But he also could eat them. And so it's not really a skill that is forgotten. You know, they say riding a bike is, you know, it comes right back to you. You have that muscle memory. And I think she would too. And there was an experiment done, the only time it's ever been allowed. It was in 1993 with 2 captive orcas in Marineland, Vallejo, California. And the experimenters put in live fish with 2 orcas had been captive, one over 10 years and one almost 20 years. So they had been fed dead pieces of fish all that time. They immediately echolocated, chased it around, caught those fish and ate them. So it doesn't go away. So, you know, that's sort of one of the assumptions that are made, that, oh, she's forgotten everything she ever knew. But I don't think so. Really don't. She still can use those calls that she learned from her family to communicate. That's how they'll know that she is one of them right off the bat. And I think she'll still be able to catch fish. She may need to sort of, you know, practice a little bit herself, but I don't think she needs to be trained to catch fish. You know, she's not a blank slate. She has those memories to use to you know, to regenerate those skills and you know, catch all the fish she needs.
Thank you so much, Howard. It's so interesting to hear just the story. I once heard a story from Tom Sampson of Vancouver Island, and he talked about the story was between the sea lion and the Quahomachton, the orcas, and how they're bitter enemies. They're bitter enemies. And he reminded me that the orcas have relatives all over the world, in Iceland to Antarctica, and they have the same same techniques. And talk about hunting. That's kind of, it's in our guts. You know, it's natural. Yeah. And I don't think anything is going to ever take away Lolita's song. We know her family still sings in the North Sailor Sea. We know that her mother and the family still remember her and remember that awful day and remember that fight. And so we're just the messengers. Again, thank you. You can visit Howard at orcanetwork.org. Haishka Howard, thank you on behalf of our friends and family here, speaking out for Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh, aka Tokitae. Annette?
Thank you so much, and thank you, Howard. There's some more questions coming in, but I think we can possibly answer those in the chat after, because we do want to keep this week's broadcast a little bit shorter than we did last week. I think it's important, though, at this point, just to seeing some of the questions that are coming in, and has this been done, and have you guys talked to these people, and have you guys talked to those people? I just want to highlight here that the Sacred Sea, Sacred Land Conservancy really is kind of the leaders in the plan on what is happening with her home, with the planning, with the conversations, legal, like all that kind of stuff is happening with Sacred Land Conservancy. So if you have specific questions, I urge you to reach out to them. Their website is sacredsea.org, because I know there's a lot of folks who are saying, well, should I do this or should I make these contacts? And of course, you know, you guys are free to contact who you want, but I urge you to run that through the folks who are overseeing this plan, who have done a lot of work in this area. And I also just want to urge folks to just be positive in your responses. We've seen some comments that some posts and some comments from folks that really can make us angry, because we either know that's not true, or we're frustrated, or we're feeling like we need to defend that. And all I ask is that you take a minute, take a deep breath. Remember why we're doing this. We're all doing this because we love Tokitae Sk'aliCh'elh. Be respectful, loving, and compassionate in your responses to others. I think that'll go a long way if we're raising our fists the whole time. And there's all sorts of advocacy, and you know, I'm about that one too. But if we're constantly putting people on the defense, it's going to be harder for them to hear us. So we're all in this for her. We're all in this because we love her. So I just strongly encourage you to not respond until you can be in that space of love and respect for everyone involved with what's going on. We talked, you know, all kinds of there's letter writings, there's people on the ground. There's something really cool I want to share with you guys. I'm going to show a video here from Peggy Oki. This is one of the ways that people are doing their work online. So I'm going to show you this video real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Hello, everyone. Peggy Oki here of the Origami Whales Project. Art can heal and send a powerful message. And so that's why today I'm calling on all friends of Tokitae Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh to join us in creating your messages of love. I'm inviting children and adults, of course, of all ages, to create your message that will be sent to Eduardo Aldebor, CEO of the Dolphin Company, pending new owners of Miami Seaquarium. Please ask him in your message to release Tokitae Lolita Sk'aliCh'elh to be returned to her home waters for a sea sanctuary where she can be reunited with her mother, Ocean Sun. All information, including mailing address, were provided in the chat for this meeting. Please be sure to postmark by March 12th. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peggy. I want to say that Peggy put that together. We were talking very late last night on Messenger, and I said, well, if you do a 1-minute video, and there we go. There came a video today. So I just want to thank her for that. It's one of the ways that is very positive moving forward, getting the word out and spreading love for Sk'aliCh'elh.
Yes, yeah.
And I really want to thank Tomas. We have not met yet. And she's probably wondering, who is this crazy Annette lady blowing up my phone? But thank you for being here today. I'm really, really happy to have you here. And of course, Sk'aliCh'elh, I am so blessed to be in relation with you. And I do want to turn it over to the two of you, and we'll see what you guys want to share today.
Yeah, why don't we start with Tomas? It's good to see you. Aloha, Naut Siam. Good to see you, my relative, my second cousin.
I'm sorry I was late. My laptop and phone were both dead, and then I realized my son got a new modem, and nothing would connect to the new modem that's sitting over there. So I managed to get the cell phone up and running. I truly appreciate all of this. The pictures that the kids were just drawing just then, you know, brought tears to my eyes, because it's the children that are involved in this fight that we have going on to bring our sister home. That to me is the most touching, because those type of children are going to be the adults. They're going to fight for the right thing when they're older. And those are children that are being raised right to do this kind of work, because it's never going to stop. Once we bring Sk'aliCh'elh home, there's other battles then that still need to be done. I mean, I want to get to know Corky. I want to get to know more of her story. So I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you all for all of this work. Haishka.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, cousin.
Nice to be home.
Yes. Sk'aliCh'elh, Siam Siaya.
Haishka, especially to Deb, Annette, and Freddie for putting this together, the time and effort. It's really important that we try to build this awareness and we keep this circle of love and momentum going for Sk'aliCh'elh. So Haishka, and to my tribal sister Tomas, I'm glad you could join us today. I love you. What I wanted to say was these last 3 weeks have been very difficult with all of the conflicting reports, you know, about Sk'aliCh'elh's health. And there's no way to really validate who's telling us the truth. Is it PETA and other organizational reports of, you know, ill health and dire sickness and illness? Is it MSQ with, you know, their Facebook Live events of how happy and well and how much they love her? And it goes back to what Howie said, you know, we need that independent veterinary team to go in. And I'm honored that we have partnered with the Whale Sanctuary Project, that are the whale experts that worked with Caico, and they're our go-to on all of this. Tomas and I have the heart and the culture, but they have the Western knowledge, the science, the biology. I got to apologize. I have a puppy. Quasin, quiet. Quasin. Apologize. I have no control over him. I'm trying. And through these last 3 weeks, there has been a lot of anger and hostility on social media. I understand that. And I think that's maybe people's way of showing their love and fear for her. But what I'm asking everyone to do, because we've also gotten reports of her being disturbed, depressed, you know, unrest. And so I really believe part of it is the energy that is coming from that anger and hostility that's being transcended to her. So I'm here today to ask for the love, the hope, and all the positivity continue to be sent to her in prayer. Surround her with that love and support. She needs it more than ever. And we're doing everything that we know to do for her. And we're not going to stop. It's our sacred obligation to bring our Sk'aliCh'elh daughter home. So we will. So Haishka, Siam, nostalgia see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I think that if there's anything that you guys hear today, it's that just the energy that we create is for her. She's going to feel that. She's going to feel that. So thank you so much, Sk'aliCh'elh, for reiterating that. On that note, Alejandro sent me a picture today from being at the Seaquarium, and I just want to highlight this man for a minute. Alejandro might be able to say a little more, but he said that this man is there every weekend, not waving anything, not just praying. So Alejandro, you want to talk about this guy?
Yeah, he's always there on Sunday. They do the demo from 12 to 2. So I told him today how much I appreciate he's praying for Lolita Tokitae, and I said, just keep the hope that Lolita will go home. And she said, okay, yes, thanks. So I really appreciate he's there, just sending energy, positive energy to Lolita, because like Reynolds said, she needs strength, she needs to feel like a strength. And I appreciate everything that everybody's doing right now, putting pressure to commissioners, to the USA, so this is the only way we're going to achieve this goal. So I really, really appreciate all the efforts made by you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. I think there's also been some reports or maybe some concerns that some organizations might be starting up using Tokitae Sk'aliCh'ehl's name in fundraising for their own. Maybe they want to help as well, but I just want to caution folks, and if you don't mind, to direct people in the right direction when you see that. If you see anyone out there doing fundraising in her name, I'm going to share this one more time. That's fundraising for Sk'aliCh'ehl's Lumi Talk, which is her home. Please, sacredseed.org is where we go for that. There's a GoFundMe on that page. I'll put the link in the comments here as well. For historical data and information, please contact Howard at orcanetwork.org. We want to make sure that these two organizations are who is being contacted for anything in regard to the plan, the legal, and for her home. So thank you guys very much, and we'll put those links in the comments again. But we really want to direct the plan for her return to sacredseed.org. So if you guys see people saying, send us some money because we want to get her home, just I caution you, check with Tomas or Sk'aliCh'ehlh to see who those organizations are before donating to them. And if you see folks mentioning them, maybe mention to send here, which some people have, and I've thanked you very much for doing that. I see some folks posting things and people say, hey, you want to help, you want to do this, here's the GoFundMe link. So thank you guys very much for doing that.
Thank you. That was so the work that we're all doing together from all across the whole world. Joe Phillips in London, thank you, Joe. I love if you want to visit her Facebook page, it's Until Lolita is Home. And I fell in love with Joe and all their efforts when in 2019, Sk'aliCh'ehlh, we had the Quahomichin Day, remember, June or July 26th, that Saturday, and they held marches around the world. It gives me chills to think about it, from South Africa to Australia, and from London to Miami. And so I just want to recognize and I hope that in the future, we really start planning our event. We got a water ceremonies, Tomas, that we talked about with Sk'aliCh'ehlh and Uncle Doug, and just our group to do what was it, March 20th or March 22nd, a World Water Blessing Day, Eleanor. to give our, you know, to bless our sacred Salish Sea, to pray for our waters, you know, as stewards of this earth. This is our sacred duty. It's our sacred obligation. And remember, everybody, we don't do this for us. We do this for the generations that are not yet here with us. We were going across protecting sacred sites in 2021, and it was so powerful to see people come together during a pandemic. We went all the way down to see Sk'aliCh'elh. We drove all the way down there, and so we just want to use this opportunity with our friends to really feel and hear the story. And Tomas, I kind of want to get a little bit of more perspective from you, because for those of you that don't know, Tomas, her and I grew up Persaining. I was 18 years old, and Ellie it was so cool to see a woman on the deck. That was one thing you did not see back. I mean, they really, Ellie helped pave, a lot of these women helped pave the future. And we were both drum. We ran the hydraulic drum on our when we went out sockeye fishing. But remember, Tomas, remember the fish would all just disappear, and we'd be like, oh, the orcas are coming through. And though they would dive all the way down underneath the nets, chasing the salmon. But Tomas, I just love, I love sharing the stage with you at Whatcom Community College, talking about sovereignty and treaty protection. And you and Raynell were both members of the Sovereignty and Treaty Protection Office. Why is this our sacred duty? Why is this our sacred obligation? Why do we call her family? Eleanor?
It's everyone's sacred duty. We are all born that way. And at some point in our life, there are some people that aren't as open to it as others. Everyone's going to realize it's their turn to protect something. Cherry Point and the SSA Marine Coal Terminal, that was my big wake up. You know, after I'd watched my dad, my husband, and my Auntie Dorlee fight for Madrona Point, I mean, then we had to fight for Wichiakan. But going back to the water ceremony, that day was so special because all the waters are connected. So wherever those water ceremonies were happening, whatever ocean they were happening, it's one giant ocean. And so that we were all doing that water ceremony, and it was all connected. And she's still a part of that because the water in her tank comes from Biscayne Bay there. So and I believe our word for it is a shakia. It's all connected. All waters are connected. So that water ceremony was so cool that we had people doing those ceremonies from around the world at the same time. And I really loved that. I really loved that event. And I grew up fishing, as Fred said, and it's the same. It's the same thing. What's happening to the orcas is happening to us as people. When they're starving, we're starving. We're both starving together. There are things we have got to fix for both of us, because without salmon, there won't be either of us. We won't survive it, and our southern residents won't survive it either. We might be past the tipping point. We don't know, because we can't get anyone to grasp the idea and realize it's time to save the Salish Sea. And for us, bringing our lost sister home, that's a big part of the first step of fixing the Salish Sea. She has got to be brought home and reunited with her family for us to say, we see what we've done, and we're going to try to make a difference. Sorry.
Sk'aliCh'elh. Chiam, Chiaya.
I think Tomas said it all. Those were beautiful words.
Yeah, thank you, Eleanor. It's Uncle Sidki Kadam. I know we're just to follow up. You know, the love that we have for Lolita, and I have to bring up the fact that during one of our council meetings, one of the council members, I won't say any names, but he said, and this is all on record, I was there, I witnessed it. He said, you know, what the hell is the STPO office? Why are they always trying to save that whale? And I let him finish, and I had to correct him and let him know. I said, how dare you call Sk'aliCh'elh that little whale? He couldn't even call her by her Indian name that we gave her. And I reminded him of the story of the chief, the Quahumestan people. And this is what the chief, our beloved late chief, I told him how offended I was to hear an elder of the council say that about our whale. And so I know how passionate we can get, Ellie. And I had to stand up and say, don't ever call her that whale. That's my relative. And but Uncle Doug, we were there. We were there. And we're going to continue this important work.
Yep. So.
Go ahead, Uncle.
Once again, I can't thank all of you around the world enough for taking a breath of time out of your lives to reach out with your heartfelt concerns for what's happening to our relatives. And it's very true, you know, that each one of us have a role. Each one of us carries a small piece of this puzzle. If we don't come and bring our piece forward, how are we going to get the whole picture? It's going to take the unity of all of us to turn things around. How do you change climate change? It's got to be all of us working together to make it happen. We're going to save the Salish Sea. It's going to take all of us to make it happen. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. Each and every one of us are held accountable. The Creator's put this on our plate. If He didn't bring each and every one of you forward and said that this is your duty, this is why you're here, this is why you exist, to take care of the earth, to take care of our relatives. We're speaking up for those that don't have the voice, but spiritually are crying out to those that have the ears to see and answer their cry. She's been crying out, and I want to go home. I want to go home. Anybody hear me? I want to go home. At least have the decency to allow her the last few times, last few years, months, or whatever she's got, to share that with her family. We all owe her that. They made the Seaquarium enough money. The previous owners made $160 million. You know, enough is enough. She's been held in slavery all this time. And it's a identical path that she had to go through, is like our late generations that were taken away from their families, taken away from their way of life, who they are and how they existed, and saying, no, you got to become this. She's the same way. She still has her language. She still has her songs. She still has her memories embedded into her. Allow her the decency to enjoy what the Creator has given her. Freedom. Freedom to choose when to eat and where to eat and what to eat. She is looking forward to where she can go catch that great big king salmon. So it's up to all of us, you know, to make sure that these salmon get back up to their natural spawning beds and produce the nature way of making the salmons work. You know, they can't stop this any longer. So once again, saying Haishka to all of you, Howard, Lawrence, you know, you kind of make us all green that know what the water feels like and that you're down there enjoying that climate, you know, but the best of you too, Lawrence. Thank you, brother, for being part of this. Alejandro, can't thank you enough, brother, for your dedication. Sk'aliCh'elh, thank you. Tomas, good to see you. Welcome back home. Annette, you know, thank you for stepping up and becoming part of this, you know. And Fred, you know, we come a long ways in the past 20 years, you know, we've been on the road, you know, and so again, I want to offer up a prayer to close out the day here and thanking each and every one of you guys once again. So Heavenly Father, we come before you and asking for your blessings upon those that don't have the voice, asking that you continue to open up the way for them to be able to come back to their families. Allow them that part of decency that's owed to them, to live free, to smell the ocean, smell that salt water, feel that healing waters. Howard, you know, you've proved it, you know, that waters out there are healing to them. That's their medicine. That's what heals their soul, body, and spirits, you know, to make them that joyful, you know, and their families crying out for her. It's like when we lose a loved one in our families, we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to not have a mother here anymore, you know, or a family, part of your family disappears. You know, where'd they go? Who stole her? You know, it's like all our lost Indigenous women that have been taken. They've been crying out, anybody hear me? I want to go home. I want to go home. It's the same difference. Same difference. So asking Lord to please continue to open up that door in your most holy name, Lord. Amen. Aishka to all of you. We can't thank you enough for all those that are out there around the world. Keep your prayers going out to those that are going through the battles around the world here, Lord. In your name, amen.
Thank you, Uncle Sk'aliCh'elh. Thank you to our panel. We're going to conclude. I know Uncle and Siamawed are running some errands, running down the Salish Sea here, and some of our friends might have to jump off. But I guess Annette and Deb will use this next half hour just to kind of go through and share some of the love and the questions that that we have from some of our viewers. If Deb and Annette would like to post some of those, it's really beautiful to see people around the world raising their hands to you, Uncle Doug. You know, Joe Phillips, love you too, all the way watching us from the United Kingdom. We're praying for everybody around the world. It's you know, we're at the highest level of nuclear arms race, and it's kind of a reality. And so we got to put our prayers and remember to keep up our good fights. If anybody has any questions, you can reach out to us online. You can go to orcanetwork.org and try and contact Howard. I seen there was Alejandro. There was a gentleman that I don't know, it was an anonymous gentleman that was going to donate $1 million. What was that? I just kind of need some clarification. Did anybody hear that story? You're muted. There you go.
No,
I thought that was a great story.
Yeah, but I saw on Facebook on Local 10 News, because I got the app and I follow Local 10 News. Like I see information there. That's the only I know.
Yeah, Howard, did you see that? What do we know?
Yes, I certainly perked up when I saw that. I certainly don't know how that happened, but I looked back at his history. He's kind of a self-made, millionaire developer of properties in Florida and elsewhere. But he has a long history with the Whale and Dolphin Conservation Society, now just WDC. And they have a very long history, being anti-captivity, working on everything from Ulysses, who is now at SeaWorld. They tried, after he was captured in Iceland, to get him back to Iceland. They led that effort. They worked very hard on getting Caico back in the ocean and helped to facilitate that and make it happen. So he has been a part of those traditions, and with the Sea Shepherd Society. I think he's still on the board of Sea Shepherd. So he is for real. I have no reason to doubt his sincerity. I haven't heard any more in the last couple of days, so I don't know what's happened, but I'm eager to hear.
Yeah, I just thought that was, I was like, wow, that's beautiful news. There was a question from online about I think it's good to remind everybody too, Eleanor and Raynell and Howard, when we bring her home, she's going to be brought home in a first class. We're not going to just throw her into the Salus Sea and say swim and fetch and it's going to be a process. And,
oh yeah.
I want to just let everybody know we're not doing this for the glory or to get the name out there. We're doing this because our elder, who's now with our ancestors, told us that we will bring her home. We will do this in a good way. He said to me the year before, he told me, he says, Fred, she's going to come home. It just won't be in my lifetime. And that always sticks with me. He said, keep up the good fight. Keep doing what we're doing. We all have our gifts. Some artists can come up. I think it would be great for artists to work with sacredsea.org, and perhaps this year we can gather artists from around the world and ask you, hey, donate one of your pieces to our women warriors here, Tomas and Sk'aliCh'elh, and donate it, and let's have an online auction. We're resilient, everybody. Let's get the kids at our local schools to say, hey, can you help us? Can you do some artwork for our Day of the Quahalmachtin coming up here in the future? Can you help us save the salmon? Can you help write your legislators, your state politicians, your senators, your congressmen? What can we do to inspire the next generation as we get ready here in about 23 days? About 20 days. We're going to hold our water ceremony, and so as we get ready in our next show, in our next Tokitae TV, in our next Sk'aliCh'elh talk, we'll share with you what we're going to do here with our elders, with Tomas, with our fishermen, with Uncle Doug and the House of Tears carvers. It may just be a few of us that gather, but we will do this around the world. And so we're going to invite each of you in your own faith, in your own way. Like Uncle Doug and I, we say when we, pray in your own way. There's no right or wrong way to do a water ceremony, to pray to the water, to pray pray for its continued support of all of us here. Water is one of the four, the sacred elements of life: earth, fire, water, earth, air. And we got to remind each other that, so there's a war breaking out in Ukraine and Russia. We got work to do here, and continue to do this work. And again, I just love our elders for being with us. Thank you from all of our friends around the world. Annette, we hope to do something. I think this Sunday at 1 o'clock works pretty good, and we're going to try and keep. We're doing a 90-minute telecast. We're shooting for an hour, but we know that the love from across the world is so powerful. And if you have any ideas, just message us. We want to bring on some future talks with some veterinarians, with some of our friends in South Florida, and keep the conversation going. Annette.
All right, so we have a couple questions, not too many questions. We have a lot of comments, a lot of positive comments we've been sharing with you guys. I think we might have talked about this last week, but one of the questions, and I'm not sure, Sk'aliCh'elh, this might be for you, or Tomas, I'm not sure, but it's confusing too. Can you clarify who can grant an independent health evaluation? Is it only MSQ, or does the mayor have any authority over that?
Tomas, do you want me to go ahead? It's a complicated set of situations because just like our elder Doug was talking about these pieces, it's the same thing surrounding Sk'aliCh'elh. You've got USDA, NOAA, NIMS, you've got the Miami-Dade Board of Commissioners, you have the mayor's office. And the reason it gets complicated is we're in the middle of an acquisition. We have MSQ trying to sell to the Dolphin Company, but the licensing and lease transfer are held up by findings from a USDA report, and the investigation is not yet completed. And the Miami-Dade Commission won't transfer the lease until that's done. So there's a lease transfer for the land. There is a licensing transfer, for the business. That's just the piece that involves Sk'aliCh'elh, but the owners have to make an agreement on what vets stay, what employees stay. There's a whole lot that still has to be finalized. So I'm sorry, it's really a roundabout way to say it is complicated. Everybody has to kind of give their nod, but the actual signature for the license transfer would come from the Miami-Dade Commission, I believe, and the veterinary piece is partly in the mayor's office, because as you saw, the memo from the Miami-Dade Board of Commissioners sent the memo to the mayor a week ago saying they also were endorsing that, because several days prior to that, we did our advocacy and outreach saying This is the most important thing for her. We understand commerce and business and acquisitions, but we care about her. And she's a corporate asset, so they should care about her too. And so when we had the call with the mayor's office and then getting the memo from the Board of Commissioners, there is an agreement that an independent vet team needs to be in there. But who is orchestrating this final sign off? Everybody is trying to work forward together because they do love her. So we're still trying to get with the players and continue to have that dialogue on a regular basis. So I know that's not a clear-cut answer, but there's no clear-cut path.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I was trying to find one of the other comments here. Deb's doing a fantastic job of highlighting some of them. I was trying to find it in the chat so that we can post it, but I don't see it. The chats are going very fast. But here's a question: is does anyone have an idea of how long it will take to actually build the sea pen once a site is secured and she is released? How long will the actual development of the netted enclosure take? I don't know who wants to take that one.
We believe that part can go fairly quickly. The slowest part of that will be the permitting required. And the permitting is going to be based a lot on the actual site and who the upland owners are. So those will be the two parts that will take it the longest. But we, of course, we're concerned with how long it might take. Like, if we actually are granted access to her, how long does that part take? But that part can all be going on at the same time as her preparing her for transit, because that's not just something that's just going to happen. That alone, preparing her for that move, could take like 3 to 6 months. Getting her ready and used to the slings, getting her with a team that she's comfortable with. She's got to know those people that are in there and around her and doing all this work. And the permitting and the building can be going on at the same time as getting her ready for the move. So I believe our hopes is that can be in a 3 to 6 month period.
Thank you. I'm just going through some of the other questions on here. Are the permits in motion? Mons, I'm not sure if you can answer
that. We consider they're in motion because we've been talking with the local municipalities, with the state, and with the federal agencies as to what the intention is and what are some of their concerns. So that dialogue's been going on for several months, but not the actual paper for the permit has not been submitted. But the foundation and building to do that has begun months ago.
Thank you. And someone said here, Louis Aguirre is a great advocate for Toki. He will probably update us when additional details are made available. Yes, absolutely. He's awesome. Louis is great. He's in communication with this team. And yes, Local 10 has been the station that's they're quick. I mean, he gets that info up there. So we're hoping to hear more about the donor, as I know all of you are. We're also hoping to get that final report that was referenced in the county commissioner's Facebook address and letter. So those are things we are all waiting on, and we will probably hear that from Louis. You're correct. We're getting close to our time here, and I just want to thank everyone again. Howard, you're amazing. Thank you, and you're really fun to work with, by the way. And oh no, Tamon's like, let me put her back up here. I think she might be
She's sideways.
He's sideways. Okay. Once, I'm not sure. You might have to leave and come back in. So we'll acknowledge you last if you're able to get back in. Alejandro, you're amazing. There are some questions coming through. So in my acknowledgements, I do want to say a lot of folks are asking, how is her health? Can we all agree that freeing her is what's best? I'm sure others have a better response for that, but I think getting her assessed is the biggest priority so that we can answer those questions safely. And that is definitely the goal. That is all what we want. And you know, hopefully she gets that independent exam so that we can know, you know, how is her health? We want to know that as well. Let's see, Freddie, you're awesome. Thank you for being here with me and playing and letting me play with you and your family. I appreciate it. I see that Uncle Doug had to jump off. And then Tomaz, I really wanted to acknowledge, but she is not on. Lawrence is on his dive. He was waving. I don't know if you guys saw him, but he was trying to show us that he was getting ready to go in the water. So hopefully we see some pictures really, really soon. I can't wait to see what he comes up with. And then here's a question. We'll go ahead and answer this because I do want to acknowledge Sk'aliCh'elh last. Because what you're doing is so, I mean, it's just so important. And I just really want to thank you for everything you're doing. Someone said there's a movement to pressure the USDA to confiscate her. Lots of letters going out to them. Should we say that SLC, Sacred Lands Conservancy, doesn't endorse that? It appears that would be the end of her sanctuary hopes. But without word, people will continue to pursue these other goals.
No, we set out through Sacred Lands Conservancy a call for action, you know, to write those letters. And because we're still in the midst of an acquisition and, you know, that entails the licensing and the lease transfer, and the permits still have to be processed and approved, there is no harm in writing letters endorsing, you know, her freedom, her release, to cooperate, to build this new partnership for her, to get her the best health care, to retire her from performing, to ready her, let me home. So, you know, I would say, if you have it in your heart and you're so moved, move forward.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm just so thankful. Thank you, Raynell. Thank you for just being here with us. I know we can be someplace else. I just want to let everybody know around the world we can be someplace else. But if we can continue to do this, hopefully we'll try and next week we'll shoot for a 1 hour show. And every other week, we'll have a 2 hour show. And again, thank you for your questions from around the world. I was just thinking about this. You know, I know some people have a certain thought about PETA, but that was my question. Does anybody know share? Can we all kind of write to share? And see, I don't know. I know we have a lot of friends around the world, but give it some thought. Let's write to some of their foundations, and let's write. There was another on Peggy talked about the friends to let your artistic and non-artistic side flow with a message to Eduardo Elbor. I wish somebody from the Dolphin Company was watching, and you could see and hear our stories. And we know that you're going to be the soon-to-be owner, and we could do this in a good way. We can really do this in a good way. And one of my solutions, I know Eleanor's not on, but she just got back from Maui. If anybody is on Maui, or if you ever gone to the island of Maui, they opened up a beautiful new it's a humpback whale 3D show, and it's a part of their it's a brand new dome they have, and it's they have every 20 minutes a show, and it's all on the humpback whales. And I was thinking, wow, could you imagine trying to sell the idea, hey, let's drain the tank and let's help them design a story of our Sk'aliCh'elh relatives. So I encourage you, if you ever go to Maui, go to the new I think it's, I can't remember if it's down by the aquarium, but it's a part of that facility. It is an amazing humpback whale show. And I just think that would be a great fit to the Miami Seaquarium, looking at, you know, in the near future, draining the tank and replacing it with a powerful tribute to Lolita and her family. And so with that, we're coming up on 90 minutes. Thank you from all of our friends around the world. Raising our hands in our language, it's sayet. It's our way of giving our applause when we raise our hands high to you. Thank you to all of our panelists and our friends around the Pacific. Lawrence Curtis, Alejandro Dinto at the Miami Seaquarium, Sk'aliCh'elh right here in the North Salish Sea. Thank you, Raynell, for being with us. Our friend Howard Garrett at the Orca Network. Howard, so looking forward to, I hope you can come up for our water ceremony here, or maybe we have a water ceremony down in Penn Cove with some of our relatives. It's just a couple of different ideas. I think it'd be great to, in our next few gatherings, that we present some ideas on our World Water Blessing Ceremony. And Tomas, Tomas, thank you again for being with us. You turned sideways there on us, but good to hear you.
My phone overheated and stopped charging, and I had to run around the house to find a charger.
Oh no!
So sorry.
Yeah. Thank you again, Cuz, for being with us. Appreciate it. Again, you can go to, if you want to donate and help directly to our elders, our Lummi elders here. Again, you can see right here, sacredsea.org. That's direct funding. We don't want to confuse anybody with the efforts that we're doing here at Lummi Nation, because this will help in all the infrastructure. This will help with the first class ticket aboard a special 747 that'll fly Lolita right to Bellingham, Washington, here by the Lummi Indian Reservation. This will help directly to bring Lolita, Tokitae, Sk'aliCh'elh home. And so anything, any way you can help, sacredsea.org, and visit the GoFundMe account. You know, we every dollar helps. And we know that a lot of people are struggling. We know that we can't do this alone, and it's only with your help that that Sk'aliCh'elh and Tomas have this opportunity to continue to lead this important fight for our relative. And so with that, Siam, Nashalacha, Haikucha, in our language, Haikucha, Haikucha, it's never goodbye. It's until we see you again. Asiam, thank you.